Hi everyone, I'm currently back home from teaching in the country, but enough about that, let's just get into it. So, this is our chapter 139 theory prediction video, and the final update to our Eren Endgame theory video. Now, chapter 138 proves that alternative futures exist in the form of different paths that Eren could have taken, depending on the choices he made with the time he has left. We can theorize Eren has seen all these possible futures for himself. For example, Eren saw what would have happened if he and Mikasa had run away together in Marley, since in chapter 1 he heard the same words that Mikasa told him in chapter 138 before waking up from his long dream. Thus, the future we're seeing play out in AOT right now is the path that Eren chose out of potentially thousands of futures, meaning this was probably the only future where the hallucigenia is successfully destroyed, kind of like how Doctor Strange only saw one future where the Avengers beat Thanos and bring everyone back. For 3 years, Eren only had future memories of the rumbling. He didn't know why he would do this, except that he would do it. Eren told his friends that he wants them to live long and happy lives. Then visited Marley with the rest of the scouts, where he finally decided to go through with the rumbling, because it would be the only way to ensure Paradise Island's future. Eren returned back to Paradise Island and conspired with Yelena, then plotted to betray Zeke and Yelena with Floch. However, when Eren goes to tell Historia his plan, she proposes having a child, and this is the Historia Endgame theory, and where Eren gets access to all possible future memories. Eren no longer has to care for his friend's safety like he did before, or is plagued with emotions about going through with the rumbling. He is also no longer motivated by hatred of the outside world, or grief for all the millions of innocent people he'll kill. The reason we couldn't follow Eren or Historia's POV is because they probably saw the future together in chapter 130. Historia might have experienced the same future memories like she did all the way back in the Uprising arc. Now, our Eren Endgame theory predicted that the rumbling was never Eren's intention, and it seems we've been proven right with Eren dying at the hand of Mikasa despite having the power to look into the future, which can only mean he chose to fail. Thus, it is looking more and more like a 2,000-year reset, where the world of AOT becomes our own. Evidence for this comes from all the parallels to our world: the White Cliffs of Dover, Westminster Bridge, Big Ben, Kamigamo Shrine, Jigawako Kamano Shrine, the world map being our own except upside down, baseball, East Asian culture, Middle Eastern culture, the Wannsee Conference, the Nazi Madagascar Plan, etc. 2,000 years ago, the hallucigenia stripped Ymir of her freedom and turned her into a slave similar to that of the first king's will. However, a part of her still yearned for freedom, and this manifested itself into the Attack Titan power. And it was endowed with the powers to one day free Ymir from her slave connection, evidenced by the fact that Frieda, the current holder of the founding Titan power, didn't know that the Attack Titan power could see into the future. Also, listen to what Eren says in chapter 130. I wonder where it all started. Back there? No. It doesn't matter where. Even if all of this was set in stone from the start, even if all of this is what I wanted, it's all still ahead of us. This suggests that everything Eren does has been predetermined by himself and something or someone else, which can really only mean one thing. Eren's endgame is both his own and a part of Ymir's endgame also, which began over 2,000 years ago with her waiting for someone to free her, like Eren said. Ymir, was it you who led me here? You must have been waiting all this time. 2,000 years for someone. And it seems as though she did. So, our prediction for this final chapter is that the hallucigenia will be destroyed, which in turn will free Ymir, who will reset history 2,000 years ago. This is the reason why Ymir followed Eren and not Zeke, because Zeke didn't consider what Ymir might want when he proposed his euthanasia plan back in chapter 121, showing her that like King Fritz, he doesn't care for her freedom, and only wanted to use her. See, we have two conflicting ideas battling against each other inside the hearts of all Illidians. The idea that it would have been better not to have been born into this world since our existence only brings suffering. This belief is embodied by Willy Tybur, who says in chapter 100, I would choose to never have been born if it was up to me. More than anyone else, I've hated my own blood. I wished for the extinction of all Illidians. Meanwhile, Zeke listens in, but I do not wish to die, because I was born into this world, and Eren's eyes light up. See, this is the dilemma that all Eldians are facing. They have been unfairly born into a world where their ancestors have committed heinous crimes that they themselves had nothing to do with. Ymir, Historia, Zeke, and even Eren, at one point or another, have wrestled with the idea of wishing they hadn't been born. Eren's moment came in chapter 65 when Historia is about to eat him, and she asks why he isn't fighting back. He tells her that it's all his dad's fault for stealing the founding Titan power. If my father hadn't done what he did 5 years ago, your sister would have been able to take care of everything. And he professes, I never needed to happen. Both Zeke and Eren are wrestling with the sins of their father, but Eren concludes with the idea passed down to him by Historia. The same idea passed down to Historia by Ymir, and passed down to Ymir when she entered the path, that the idea of not being born is rubbish. We are our own people, and we deserve to live with freedom. Both Zeke and Eren recognize that the world is a horrible place, because of the existence of Titan powers. But they both propose wildly different solutions. Zeke's is pretty flawed and kind of unrealistic. That only appeals to sycophants or the self-loathing. While Eren moves forward until he finds a way to save his friends. Because, like Mikasa said, even though the world is a cruel place, it can also be beautiful. Which is why Ymir smiled when Mikasa killed Eren, because Ymir wants to know what it's like to love someone like that. This is why Ymir will help create a world where she and the rest of Eren's friends could all live long and happy lives. Moreover, Eren's chapter 123 proclamation has a double meaning when he says, my goal is to protect the people of Paradise Island, who bore and raised me. Eren is telling us that he's willing to let the outside world die, so long as his friends get to live. So, like we said in our very first Eren Endgame Theory video, Isayama said he made the decision to change the ending of AOT back in 2017 after watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and realized that his current ending wouldn't be fair to all his fans. Then, like we said in January 2020, Isayama introduced the Paths, a supernatural force that would allow all of Eren's friends to live long and happy lives in a world created by Ymir. However, there is also something we only just noticed recently. So, only if you've been collecting the Attack on Titan manga, you'd know that at the end of every volume, Isayama gives us a 2-page spread of Attack on Titan AU. It's a funny alternative version of AOT, but as a high school drama. We suspect that this was Isayama imagining the characters of AOT in our world at the same time he decided to change the ending. He released the first Attack on Titan AU spread in 2017, and you can see the inception for Isayama's happy ending in here. There is also some in-text reference to our world within AOT. For example, at the beginning of chapter 122, it reads, underneath this world full of pain and suffering exists another world, which light cannot reach. And again in chapter 131, when Armin says, I still want to believe that there's still a world we don't know about out there, past the walls. But honestly, we've gone on and on about this. We don't know who'll remember the alternative future memories from the world of Attack on Titan, but it could be Mikasa, since she's already been shown to remember alternative future memories. But we'll see. So, we theorize when Isayama first started Attack on Titan back in 2009, it was supposed to end like 2007's The Mist. It used the main character's intrinsic beliefs of what's right to corrupt himself, leading him to act in contrary ways. People may know this as the ANR ending where Eren kills everyone, including his friends and those he was trying to protect. After the release of Guardians 2, Isayama envisioned an ending where Eren's death would be more like that of Yondu, we think. But in our opinion, it only makes sense that Isayama wouldn't give us Eren's POV unless he was saving it for something truly unexpected that would have spoiled the ending otherwise. Which is why we got no Eren or Historia POV from chapter 90 to chapter 139. Anyway, if you're new here, please subscribe and become a fellow Eren denialist. Like the video and share it with your Attack on Titan friends. Hopefully we haven't embarrassed ourselves. But let us know in those comments if we have. Until then, check out some of our other videos in the meantime. and return here once chapter 139 is released. Also, please go check out SCNK Official. Their work is incredible.